Hey everybody, Gotham Comics back here with another video. I hope everyone's summer's doing well. I just got back to Boston Comic Con, from Boston Comic Con. It was a really enjoyable time. I went with my brother. Got to meet Ben, man from Beantown, really nice guy. I think he mentioned it in his video. It was a pleasure meeting you, Ben, and I'm glad I was able to hunt with you. Just take a sip of water. I have a lot of books to show today, and I'm going to jump right in. But without going into too much detail, I'd like to just recommend that everybody watch ETA Nick's most recent video, The Art of the Flip, and Reaper Tate's most recent video. Both of those really do a great job of breaking down kind of the travails of comic collecting in the current market. I really can't do much better than to say that, and I really want to get into these books because I have a lot. So I'm going to start with this one. Quite obviously, it's an X-Men number 4. So many great first appearances in this. It's the first Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, but obviously then it's the first appearance of Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Toad. It's got a bunch of date stamps on it, but to me that's really badass, and it displays really well. So I was happy to pick that up. I got it from my local comic book store. I actually had it on layaway for about 6 months, so I've slowly been paying it off. And then I got this from them as well, kind of perusing their bins. This is Amazing Spider-Man 648. It's the first appearance of Max Modell and Horizon Labs, which really turns the corner for Peter Parker. I've actually got a whole run of books that I got from my local comic book store, all pretty much just, you know, easy to find back issue books, minor first appearances. This is Batman 700, first appearance of Terry McGinnis. Seeing a little bit of action now that I'm pretty sure Batman Beyond is going to get a movie. Happy to find this in the bins. This is Ms. Marvel number 1. And then I found Captain Marvel number 1. And the Marvel Now version of Captain Marvel number 1. Pretty much all in near mint shape. But happy to have those. Then I picked up Infinite Crisis number 5. This is the first full appearance of Jaime Reyes as the Blue Beetle. Cool book. And then Morning Glories number 1. Really fun read. It's an Image book. Be on the lookout for it if you see it for a good price. I've been having a lot of success at yard sales lately. I went to one nearby my home, maybe like a 2-minute drive from where I live, and I found 2 books. I paid $1 for each of them. One is Amazing Spider-Man 601, and the other is a Todd McFarlane Amazing Spider-Man 316. Really cool Venom cover by Todd McFarlane. Really been hitting the yard sales a lot this summer. My area is a good spot to go yard sailing, so it's been good. Then I picked this one here up off of eBay. Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man number 64. I mean, everyone knows, I think, that this is the first appearance of Cloak and Dagger. I've really been patient trying to get a good copy of this in nice shape for an affordable price. Not that this book is going for a stupid amount of money, but it's certainly gone up in value since they announced the show. But I just haven't been wanting to pay, you know, north of $50 for it, so I was really patient with it and finally found a copy in really nice shape that I was happy with. So that's probably in the 7s if I had to guess. And then super stoked to finally add this to my collection. I picked this up off of eBay, off a seller that Reaper Tate vouched for. Guy shipped relatively quickly, and he shipped it well. Quite obviously, Amazing Spider-Man 14, the first appearance of the Green Goblin. So really, really, really happy to have that. It's probably in lower mid-grade. I definitely want to upgrade it at some point, but I am just really happy to own it. This haul is going to have a lot of Spider-Man books in it. So this is not the end, but this is probably the biggest of the Spidey books in the haul. So yeah, really happy to have that. I went to a store nearby my home, which doesn't usually have a lot of back issue books. I mean, they do, but it's like modern back issues. I actually went twice in the last 2 weeks. This was the first occasion. And I pretty much paid $1 for each of these. This is Avengers 152. The first appearance, I believe, of Black Talon, or his first full appearance. And then I found this as well. Tough to find. Avengers 32, the first appearance of Bill Foster. It's got a neat little date stamp up here. I know a lot of people don't like the date stamps, and I think that in the Silver Age or the Bronze Age, if there are date stamps, that CGC marks it down, but I think they're pretty badass. So I got no problems with those. And then I found an Invincible Iron Man number 100. Invincible, sorry. Always really liked that cover. And then really just oddball assortment of books. Like in these bins, he's got modern with silver, with bronze, like just no rhyme or reason. They're not alphabetical, they're not organized by title. This was in there too. This is Amazing Spider-Man 572. This is the Bullseye variant. Really cool cover, you know. And then this was really fun to find. Vengeance of Bane number 1. First appearance of Bane. And then, yeah. Good stuff. So I went to Plastic City Comic-Con in my area. It was my, not my birthday gift, but it was just kind of in the area, and it was my birthday weekend, so my girlfriend said, hey, why don't we go? You know, I know that you're kind of interested in going, so we did go, and I picked up some good books. Nothing too great, but just some fun stuff. I've been for so long looking for a copy of this. I've always loved the colors on it, and I actually grew up watching this cartoon series, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. This particular book, in addition to being a number 1 issue, it's the first appearance of Firestar, in case you didn't know. Really, really cool. And then this is just 90s nostalgia, Darkwing Duck number 1. Pretty cool. Happy to get it. Then I got Batman 609, first appearance of Hush. I've really loved reading the Batman stories by Jeff Loeb in the early 600s. I think I want to complete reading numbers 600 through 700 because they're fantastic. And they really do a good job of leading into, I believe Brian Azzarello takes over, and then Scott Snyder with the New 52. Anyway, mixing in a little bit of Bronze Age. Here's Miss Marvel 16, cameo of Mystique. Now we're going back to yard sales. Was really happy to find these two at a local sale. New Mutants Annual number 2, first American appearance of Psylocke, and X Factor number 6, first full appearance of Apocalypse. Patience really paid off. I really knew in my heart that if I waited, I would find these guys cheap and in the wild. I didn't want to pay eBay prices or even comic book prices for these. I knew if I was patient, I'd get these for a good price, and I certainly did. So I'm trying not to divulge what I've paid for these books, and that's actually something I've kind of it's like a dose of humility that I got from watching ETA Nick's most recent video, The Art of the Flip, and he basically said in the video that nothing, for him, in his opinion, nothing ever good has come out of bragging about, you know, finding a deal or finding this or finding that, and I think there's some truth to that. So I'm gonna try to take a little bit more of a humble approach with some of this stuff. I thought that was just a really good video and really wise of him to say what he said. And you know what, the focus should be on the books anyway, like regardless of what one person paid or didn't pay. So anyway, I've had a lot of good luck at yard sales. This one instance though, somebody beat me at my own game. Someone was advertising on Craigslist that they were having a yard sale at 11 a.m. I showed up early, or what I thought was early, at 10:15, and someone beat me to the punch. He pulled out a New Mutants 87, he picked it up for $1, and that was it. But the same guy, he was a comic collector who actually spotted a few days later at Boston Comic Con, he actually had other Silver Age books in his car, and he gave me a pretty good deal on this. This is Journey into Mystery 113. A Silver Age book, you know, I'm not going to say no to Thor. It's in really nice mid-grade, and this is the origin of kind of how Thor got his powers, so I thought that was really cool. Alright, now Boston Comic Con stuff, as my camera battery runs out. Detective Comics 476, the sign of the Joker, is the Joker fish cover. Pretty cool. So stoked to have this. This has been on my want list for such a long time. And Avengers 16, the first appearance of the new team, really nice shape. Not really anything wrong with it. No major creases or color breaks. A little bit of chipping, like there's one spot here and one on the bottom, but can totally live with it. Has great colors. And then found this in a bin. Oops. Oh man. Marvel Knights Daredevil 58. It's the first appearance of the modern Night Nurse. I actually picked up 2 copies of that. And then I upgraded my Cap 117, First Falcon. That's in pretty solid shape. I want to say it's like a 6.5, maybe a 7. And I've been searching for this guy for a while too. Batman 666. This is the first time Damian Wayne puts on Batman's costume. And new X-Men 31, First Kimura. I went back to that store in my area on the Saturday of Boston Comic Con. I was actually kicking myself for not getting the full weekend pass, but found a lot of really good deals. I'll say this, the next couple books, well, no, maybe I won't. I'll try to keep it, I won't say anything too much, but I got the next few books at a good deal. I'll just leave it at that. X-Men number 5, first appearance of Omega Red. Major X-Men villain, maybe, you know, could be down the line in an X-Men movie. This is Avengers Next, number 7, first appearance of Hope Pym. Amazing Spider-Man 654. This is the cameo first appearance of Agent Venom. And the next 2, obviously I know what this one is. What if Venom became Deadpool? But I'm not too sure about this one here. What if they're both what if number 1s, but this one says it's what if Venom possessed Deadpool part 3 of 4. So maybe it's just as simple as me needing to open the books up. I actually haven't opened either of these up yet. Pretty delighted to find this. Amazing Spider-Man 569. It's a variant edition. Vengeance number 1, first appearance of Miss America Chavez. Batman New 52 number 5, first appearance of the Court of Owls. And New 52 Batman number 1. Really winding down. Only a few books left. This is really tough to find. Aquaman. Oh, it's not Aquaman, I'm sorry. It's Adventure Comics 452. This is when you find out that Black Manta is actually black, and this is also the death of Aquababy. And then Richard Dragon, Kung Fu Fighter #1. I got this one on the Sunday, the final day of Boston Comic Con. And then Batman Detective Comics 474, the second appearance of Deadshot, the first modern Deadshot. And then this rounds out my Boston Comic Con purchases. It's an Amazing Spider-Man 11. Really cool. I mean, it's not in the greatest shape, but it's all there. It's all attached. It's complete. Happy to get it. So that's pretty much everything. I'm really tired. I've had a long past few days. Comic-Con really zapped me of energy. I did a lot of digging this past weekend of books, but it was a ton of fun. Really nice to meet Ben and Min from Beantown, and I am joining an Instagram fantasy football league with some fellow comic book lovers, which is really cool. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm probably going to mellow out a little bit on the comics just because I've picked up so much lately, and I've got a few just personal things coming up. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop collecting, but certainly you probably won't see a video as substantive or with as many books as this one. But all is going well. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and just remember, Gotham Comics to the next. Hope everyone is doing well, and do yourself a favor and watch those videos I pointed out by Reaper Tate and ETA Nick. See you later, everybody.